All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mr. Madrid from the Mr. Madrid Show, and today we have a special guest, a repeat guest at that. A friend of the family. He is basically a brother from another mother. My dog, my homie, JP, also known as JP, not Morgan. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm honored that you have me on for a second time.
I want to thank you for jumping on the show. I know that right now we're on opposite sides of the world, and we'll peel that onion back in just another couple minutes. What's the deal? Where are you right now before we jump into the questions that I have for you?
Oh, currently right now I'm in the Philippines right now.
I want to formally introduce you to the people that are listening, that are watching you for the first time. JP, JP, not Morgan, to all the people out there. We've been friends for just about over 15 years, give or take. He's family, in other words, and I don't want to get too long into that. And I have a lot of love and admiration from somebody who I genuinely consider family. He knows my family, knows my kids. They know him as Uncle JP. Just a lot of
Thank
love.
you for the same.
So to set that he's always been a hard worker, always been a hustler. When we used to work in the same place, he was always like one of the top salesperson there, and it never changed from job to job that he went to. But I do want you to tell the people a little bit about your path of embarking into entrepreneurship, right? And what led you to get
Right.
to that point. And the last time that you were on, we briefly touched on it, but we didn't really like get into it. So talk to us about the Airbnb world and how that changed your life.
Right. Well, before I get into that, because you said a lot of flattering things about me. I just want to say some flattering things about you. I feel like the person that I know when I knew you back then versus the person I know you now, a father, a husband, and just a hardworking man. The fact that even when we set all this up here, you helped me set up do my setup and help me set it up very professionally and make me take this more serious. I just want to say that the growth between when I met you and the man that you are now is very commendable, and I actually admire that, and it's something like that I want to, like, I look at you as something that I want to have, or I want to achieve, meaning having a family and being a great father. Like, I want to have those things, and I want to, not only do I want to have those things, I want to achieve those things. I want to be those things. So I just want to say that before I answer any questions, and
Thank you,
thank you
player. I
also for having
appreciate
me.
that. Thank you, player.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
So the question was the entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, like what led you to the world of like being an? I don't think you knew you were an entrepreneur just yet. What led you to the path of going into Airbnb early on, right? Because Airbnb, everybody knows about that, but
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah, because I've been doing Airbnb now for 7 to 8 years, give or take. And when I started doing Airbnb, it was completely out of just coincidence, just not even coincidence, just the fact out of pure necessity, pure survival. Because I had a consulting business in the beginning, and that business failed completely. Went into debt, close to $50,000 in debt. It was about maybe 48, $47,000 in debt, and I had no money, and I was living in the Bronx. I had a two-bedroom apartment, so I decided to rent one of the bedrooms and Airbnb it. I didn't feel comfortable with the idea of having a complete stranger in my house, but then I thought to myself, I don't have money for food, so I don't think it really matters. Yeah, I think I could deal with a stranger in my house. So I opened it up. I'll allow quote unquote strangers to come into my house, into the bedroom, and that just one room made. Not only did I make the rent, but I had an additional pocket money for myself. I said, well, this is fantastic. This is incredible. Well, what will happen if I rented out the second room? So
mm,
I doubled that.
okay.
And again, by pure accident, just jumped into, just literally just stumbled on it. So I was making in the Bronx, right, with a two-bedroom apartment. I was averaging between $4,000 to $6,000 a month, just income from Airbnb renting out those two bedrooms.
Now, when you say 4 to 6,000, just for the people like myself, are you talking that strictly profit or is that
Oh no, no, that's
gross?
pure gross.
Pure
Yeah,
gross.
that's not.
So out of like the 4 to 6,000, how much were you pocketing for yourself after expenses and all that stuff?
So the rent was 1,700. And then doing like laundry and stuff like that, I'll probably say, I don't know. So we could say maybe $2,000 in total, because I'm adding the light, not the light, but I didn't pay light, but I did pay internet and stuff like that, and then doing the laundry. So I'll probably say maybe $2,000 in total of or all my expenses. So then
Okay.
after $2,000, everything was just pocket money.
Yeah. And one thing, like when JP's talking about $2,000, To give you guys some more context on that, this man is frugal. When I talk
I'm
about,
cheap.
yeah, yeah. But
I have
like,
I have
yeah.
actually I actually have Jewish ancestry.
Well, why? Why?
I found
He's
out I
frugal.
found out I got some Jewish ancestry in me, man. That's how I was so successful. I didn't even know that.
So that entrepreneur spirit comes from that,
Yeah,
right?
comes from that,
Okay.
man. Yeah, Shamon,
But he
Shamon.
he's very frugal. So with that said, like if you picture yourself with $2,000 pure profit, because now you paid your overhead as far as rent, electricity. He said electricity, but let's just
Right,
say electricity, like all the things that you need to function, taken care of already, right? And then you got 2 grand in your pocket.
right.
Okay, so tell us some more. So after you uncovered that this was something that you could do, something that you could make money off of,
Yeah, it's
what
something I could do.
inspired you to keep going and take it a step further?
What inspired me? I didn't want to work for anybody. I got used to doing the Airbnb. So I did the Airbnb thing in the Bronx where I was at for about maybe 6 months until I decided, you know what? Let me scale this. So I wanted to be like I wanted to be the Tony Montana, right? Without drugs
Okay.
though, nothing illegal, right?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
want to be
everything
the
legal.
Tony Montana, everything legal, legal as it could be, right? With Airbnb. So I decided to hop on, go to New Jersey and get a house there.
Okay.
So the first house that I got was a multi-family house, and I started off with the second floor of that property, just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So the second floor, the rent on that was I think $2,600 a month, and the Airbnb I was making I think the first month it didn't make that much. I think I made like 3,000 something like that, like maybe 35 3,300 the first month, and then the second month I made 47 just on the second floor. And then I got the first floor because I went in there in August. I think it was August 2018. I got it. Yeah, I think it was 2018, the first month, and then I got the first floor. So that's the second floor. August 2018. Then I got in November of that year, 2018. Then I got the first floor. So then I had the whole house, and then from there it was off to the races. The that property by itself was making in the peak season, like in the summer. I think July is probably the most busiest month. In July, that house made $17,000 in one month. Gross. That was the gross. Yeah, yeah,
And now that's not counting anything else that you had going on during that time.
correct.
What made so giving away a little bit of the secret sauce, right? In the special ingredient in that aspect. What made that property so profitable, being that it was in Jersey
Uh,
and not New York?
I'm glad you asked me that because I have an answer for you. So the old way of doing real estate, everything in real estate back then was location, 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 which is true. Location does matter, but location is important because of what it gives you access to, right? Like what the people want. So back then you will focus on location is important because of traffic and also because of what it gives you access to. Now
Okay.
because of the internet, everything is becoming digital. The location doesn't matter as much as to give you access to, because even though I'm in New Jersey, a place that's not as desirable as say Manhattan itself, but the fact that my property gives people that are traveling, right, want to experience New York but don't want to pay New York prices, gives them access to New York. I'm about maybe 15 60 minutes away from New York, and they can come in groups. I I can
Yeah.
maximize that location. So then also you have to look at it that is a multifamily. So the way that a lot of Airbnb people do their business is they get one apartment or one house, and then they have a set amount of people. Like I had a multifamily house, right, which was 7 bedrooms, 2 floors. So in the slow seasons, I can cut that up and just rent out each floor. So the slowest months is January, February, March. So I can rent out each floor to justify the slower season, because in the slower seasons a lot of people are not going to rent out the entire house.
Okay.
So
Got it.
then, so I can go two strategy. I can rent out rooms, or I can do floors. I decide to do floors for the slow season, and then you maximize it. And then when everything picks up again around April, that's when everything just starts picking up and things become more profitable. But
Okay.
I will say the best months are between April to December. Then January being the slowest months, and then it starts picking up from there. But the three worst months for me, because I'm in close to New York, is January, February, March. That could be due probably because of weather. or whatever the case is. But having multifamilies is a great strategy because in the slow season you can divide it up and you can still make money, still make profit.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So will
I don't
you
know.
still
That
manage
makes sense.
100%, 100%.
Okay.
You're being strategic into and you're giving away a gem there for people that probably want to do Airbnb and don't know how to kind of offset those slow months if they have a situation like yours where they have a multi-family home instead of always pitching it into the system as a one family unit. It's a two family house during the slow months. You're like, whatever you need, I got whatever
Yeah.
you need. You want to rent half the house, you want to rent a room. You had
Right.
a strategy down pat in
And
regards
and
to
then
that too.
also, even you don't mean to have a multifamily, you have rooms, so you can rent out rooms in your slow season, and you can still
Correct.
maximize it.
Correct. And then as far as so you had that property, did you still have the property in the Bronx? Was there more properties that you were managing?
Yeah, so that I still had the property in the Bronx, and then I started getting more houses from there. And then what I did was, in order to, because this is one thing that I wanted, because like I said, I have Jewish ancestry, right? So because I wanted to maximize my profits and cut expenses, so the first multifamily that I had, I took the basement for myself. I converted the basement into a office slash living space. So I was living in the basement. So I didn't have the overhead of rent for myself. I was living in the place I was doing business. And so for people that say that, well, I need a lot of capital to start. I mean, the majority of capital is going to go in the furnishing and also the rent up front, right?
Yeah.
But if you have the psychological persistence to be successful, and you can get a multifamily house and then take the basement for yourself and live there. I mean, sky's the limit for you. Like you can, like but a lot of people don't like to put themselves in uncomfortable situations like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. And then that's a perfect I don't want to segue away from this, but you're raising a great point where it's like people don't want to feel the pain of growing. They just want to get there quick. Like that what do they call it? That fast food type of thing where it's like they're not willing to live in the basement for however long it takes to build up capital.
No, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Like I had this business partner, right? Later on, and he works in Wall Street. He's an analyst. He told me that he wants to live in one of the penthouses in New York City. I said, bro, you can live in a penthouse in New York City. It's very easy. He said, how can I do that? And this is also for people that want to live in pen. This is like an Airbnb hack. So you get a penthouse, right? A penthouse. They call it penthouses in New York City, but I don't really think they're penthouses. But nonetheless, they're very nice, right? And they get the label penthouse. And also when you go to the elevator, it says PH on the dot,
Mm.
says penthouse. So it's just nice to have, right? The point is, I told him, so you get a two-bedroom. You're going to live in one of the rooms, and then the other room you rent. So you're just going to rent out the other room so you can live in the penthouse for free. Once you make the rent, then you just close the month out, and then you're living in the penthouse for free. So then the guy that I'm dealing with, my point is, he's like, oh man, that sounds great, man. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Doesn't do it because he doesn't. Again, it's like the psychological persistence. Like he wants to live in a penthouse. I'm telling you how you can live in a penthouse for free, literally. Like this is for free. You can live in a penthouse. I'm giving you the secret sauce on how to do it, and they don't do it. And that's why I'm not afraid. Like when people say, "Oh, don't aren't you afraid?" Like when you're giving ideas and you're saying this and that, someone's going to do it. Very few people will actually do things when they
Yeah,
hear
I mean,
very few.
it's like what Gary Vee says during his like the conferences that he does. He's like, I'm giving you guys a sauce, and he's like, maybe two people are gonna actually execute on what how I'm telling you to. It's crazy. That's why, like, as far as people stealing your idea, like, yeah, it happens. You know what I mean? But like, they also have books that teach you how to make businesses, and people still don't do it. So I agree with you. It's all about execution, right? For you, is like
100%.
that's exactly what you do. You execute. You saw a vision, you did it. Aside from that, having multiple properties, I remember there was once upon a time that you did have a like, was it a penthouse or something like that in New York City?
Yeah, I let it go, but we was renting out in New York City. But the thing is that it became too difficult to operate within New York City. Yeah, I mean to do business and always looking like who that? I don't like doing business like that. So I just took everything that was in New York City, and I just took it outside and just did it in New Jersey instead.
Okay. But that was like, I feel like that was a chapter two where it was amazing. I remember the view that you had at that location.
Oh yeah,
Was that
yeah, yeah.
also like that must have been, like I don't only want to talk about the highs. Do you feel like that was a low point as well in your journey in Airbnb, being that you probably saw a lot of money, especially out of that penthouse, and then you had to give it up and kind of again regroup and put your effort somewhere else. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, so what happened was, I mean, it was definitely a high when I got the penthouse, and I was, the money that I was making from that property there. Well, not only that property, but other properties in New York City. So, but then when New York City started clamping down and it was sharing the data, because what happened was that they passed a law that Airbnb needs to. The first law that they passed was that Airbnb needs to share the data from your account to the city. That was the
Yeah.
first law that passed. Then they passed another law saying that now you can't even, it's not even required. They don't even care if you pass all. You have to now get a registered number from the city. You have to put that number on your Airbnb account in order to have the listing. So the government has
Jeez.
to approve that you for you even to have a listing up. So they're not even allowing Airbnb to regulate. They're doing it themselves. It's pure tyranny. But anyways, and now New York City said that the reason they're doing this is to lower the cost of housing and stuff like that. No. So what happened? So now the hotels are more expensive. Living is more expensive now. Everything went up, and still you have now more issues with living, like
Yeah.
with housing people. Like there's no poor person that was going to live in the penthouse that I was renting. It has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that the city you had people in the hotel industry paying off politicians, giving money so they can pass favorable laws. Because when you can't compete, you just make it illegal.
Yeah.
And
And I feel like
to address the
Airbnb was
question,
taking over. Airbnb,
yeah,
especially in New
bro.
York
Let me put it
City.
like this. Let me put it like this. So I was giving people a view of New York City. So I'm charging. So a hotel will charge you $1,000 a night. You get a view, right? Now, Empire State Building or whatever the case. I'm giving you the Empire State Building view, right? For $500, not $1,000 a night, $500 a night. I'm also giving you a full kitchen, washer and dryer
Yeah, a whole
for
setup.
half the price. So, but anyways, to address the thing of how I felt, yeah, well, it was a complete high getting that first penthouse in New York City and then having to give it up was definitely a low because then I lost a lot of the revenue and I lost a lot of the all the furniture also that all the money that just was invested in those properties, everything was lost and I had
Damn.
to start all over again in New Jersey. But the good thing is that I was living in the basement. Even while I had these Airbnb properties like these penthouse property, I was still living in the basement, living below my means. So it would have hit me even harder if I had a lifestyle, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
taking away, but I didn't.
And you see, this is a point in time where people like they're listening to this story, right? They're like, so why was he living in the basement? Why didn't he have like a luxurious apartment? Why didn't he have this, that? Like, this is the part where he could have gotten out of business. Just imagine if he would have got himself a penthouse because he was doing amazing, and now he took this hit. Which I'm just assuming $500 a night. You have 30 days in a month. We're
Man,
talking about some serious money here, right? So
yeah,
if you take on that lifestyle that would provide for you, and then you take the hit, that puts a lot of people out of business. And I think it's admirable that you didn't let that affect your lifestyle. Like you've always been
no.
somebody that lives way beneath their means, way
Now
beneath. Like,
don't get it twisted. Like I love like spending like if you go on my Instagram, you'll see me like on a private jet. Like literally, I recorded it like on a private jet, going to a beach and stuff like that. But yeah, like I wanted these experiences, so I paid for these experiences. But because I kept my expenses so low, it's not something that affected me
yeah, yeah.
to
You
like
knew where you were
to have this
allocating
experience.
your funds and your resources. It
Yes,
wasn't
yeah,
on things that like I think it's Grant Cardone says it like as far as owning a property, right? Like he's like I can't think of straight up sticking and being stuck to a mortgage
yeah,
versus being able to be like I can leave at any point in time. So for you, you were
yeah.
experiencing things, but you weren't tied to anything. So like
Nothing.
if you spent $10,000 on a weekend in Colombia, which I seen that before, I seen you out in Colombia, right? You go and spend
Yeah,
10 grand out there, but that's that. That's it. Like you plan that out. It's not a overhead that's gonna cost you 10 grand a month.
right.
You went, you blew a bag, you came back, and you kept doing what you had to do to stay in motion, which I think is the right way to do things. And I think having the advantage of having properties and then living in the property that's self-sufficient is how much better can you get from there?
I think you know what it is that you have to look at it is that, and this is a quote from Nelson. I think it's Nelson Rockefeller. His name. He said that I don't own anything, but I control everything. So the thing is that I don't own these properties, but I control them. I mean people talk. I mean look, there's pros and cons. There's no absolutes. When people make the argument that no ownership is great, and someone else makes the argument that no that not owning is renting is better. One is not better than the other. There's pros and cons, and it depends on what your goal is. But
Yeah.
ultimately for me, in this business, I don't need to rent. I mean, I don't need to own to make money. In fact, I think I see it as a handicap, because if I own something, then I'm handicapped and I'm stuck in that one location if something happens. Right now, like if something happens to a location, I could easily walk away because I don't own it. I'm not physically stuck to that location.
And it's crazy
And
because you're in the Philippines right now.
yeah, I'm in the Philippines. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when people say, well, it's like when people make the argument for ownership. Well, I just look at people that pay for McDonald's, right? People pay a franchise fee, like what, 2 or 3%. People don't own McDonald's. The people that operate the McDonald's franchise, they don't own it. But does it fucking matter? They're making money from it. Can I
Yeah.
curse?
Yeah, yeah, you
Fuck
could.
yeah. So they don't own the
Yeah.
McDonald's, but they're making money from the McDonald's, from the name. So I don't
Yeah.
own these properties, but I'm making money from it. So what's the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm probably guaranteed probably making more money than the owner. So does it fucking matter at the end of the day? No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see what you mean with that. It's incredible. It's definitely a different way of looking at things. Because sadly enough, like the American dream involves you having the white picket fence, a house, a family, 2 cars. Like me having those things, JP, like now in life, I just recognize that it's more and more tying you down. It's not providing you freedom. It's giving you the illusion of having a dream, but it's really tying you down to keep you in the rat race. And that's been big on my mind lately, is being in the rat race, trying to make more money so I can spend more money and just continue going in a cycle of like not getting out. And I think with the business that you have, that entrepreneur state of mind, you've gotten out of the matrix, right? Like you're not in that path of like being stuck. You could do what the fuck you want, right?
Yeah, I have been doing it for a long
Obviously,
time.
you're in business, you uncovered it, like pressure made you figure this situation out. And I think it's a blessing, and I'm big on God and you know all these things, right? But you were forced into that position and it gave you freedom. Like who else do you
Yeah,
know that can
100%.
just say, hey, I'm gonna go to Colombia, spend the bag out there. I'll be back in a month. This man was not going overseas for no weekend. Sometimes they actually, yeah, you would bounce him to, but it was random. Like it would be a Friday. He'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go to Colombia for the weekend. I'll be back. But to have that freedom to say like, I'm gonna go to Colombia for a month, just hang out there, and I'm like, what about work? He's like, play. I don't work a 9 to 5 the way you do. Without
Yeah,
insulting, right? I don't work a 9 to 5 the way you do. I'm not tied down to a location. I can run my business from my phone and I'm out. And like I'm vouching for this because I lived it. Like I saw, I mean, I was on phone calls with the guy like while he was in Colombia, just living life. And I think that freedom right there that you have is priceless, even though it costs, right? But that freedom that you have, player, that you can be anywhere in the world, still have income and do what you want. Like that level of freedom, shit.
yeah.
She.
I wish,
Everybody out there,
like,
take a
and the thing
moment
is,
and just say she.
she, like, and the thing is that I don't credit my, because I didn't set out to do this, so I wouldn't say that it was courage or bravery. It was more, again, I did it out of pure necessity and survival, and it happened to land. This is really just landing on my laps. Like it wasn't something that I mastermind and or anything like that.
I disagree.
But I'm very grateful for that.
I
Oh, you
disagree with
disagree?
you.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
disagree. And I know you love this shit, Juan. You love when people disagree with you.
uh,
This is it tickles his little heart when people disagree with him.
yeah,
But I think you'll agree with this part. I'm gonna fuck
okay.
your mind up right now. The reason I disagree with you is
Fuck it
because
up.
I think you have to give yourself more credit than you do because you could have easily been one of these guys that turns to the government, gets on
All right, right,
Medicaid,
right.
gets food stamps, you know what I mean? Moves back with his moms if they need to, and completely give up on the things that you can do. You got creative, and not only did you get creative, but you made some money, like some serious money, right? At least
Mm, right,
to the point where you can take trips, you can take a month off and go to another country and do what you want. So I think
right.
that you should definitely give yourself more credit because you could have taken the easy route, right?
I mean, in that sense, yeah, in that sense,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it take like aside from it all, like we're talking about all the beautiful things, but Airbnb, at least in the beginning, it takes work, right? Because you have a
it's a lot of work.
formula for the way that you do Airbnb. Like you've
Yeah,
designed like, and we'll go into that too. You've designed a whole course, like a how
right.
to get other people
Yeah,
to do the same thing that you did, if not at your level, even greater. And you've had students, you have testimonials and things of that nature. But it's just interesting to see like in talking about the journey that you've been on, what are some of the parts that you would say not everybody's built for this Airbnb world? Like, what are the parts that those moments in life where you're like, this is the part that if you don't have thick skin, you're not gonna make it.
Well, I'll give you this is a recent example. I don't know if I told you about it, but I'll tell you. So Chase, they had a promo with the Chase Sapphire card that if you spend $5,000 in the first 3 months, that you get 100,000 points. You know, they had that offer, and it was in branch only, and for when it started. So I was very eager to get that promo to promotion, right? Because it's nothing like I could literally just use that to pay my rent, and I'll make the points easily. So it wasn't a big deal. That's really why I wanted it. So I went inside the branch. I applied for the credit card and stuff like that. And the lady that worked there, the person I was helping was like, Why are you so eager to apply for that? Why you want to apply for this?" I said, "Oh, because I have a Airbnb business, and then to make the hit the goal of spending $5,000, not gonna be a big deal. I'll literally do that 1 month because my expenses exceed that anyway." And then she's like, "Oh my God, I always wanted to do an Airbnb. Oh man." And then I'm literally telling her how she can do it. I'm telling her, "Well, this is, you want to do it, this is the way you do it." And this is why people will never be successful, right? So she kept on saying to me, "Yeah, but what if I don't make the rent?" "Well, you could do this." "But yeah, but what if I don't make the rent?" "But then you could do this." "But what if this?" "Well, you could do this." What if this?" Well, you could do. No matter what I told her, she still said, "But what if? But what if? But what if? But what if?" It came to the point that I'm like, you know what? You're right. Don't even fucking. I didn't say it like that, but I'm thinking you're right. Don't even do it. Like I'm thinking to myself, don't even fucking do it. No
Yeah.
matter what, like she already psychologically psyched her out that she like that she's not gonna do it because there's too many risks. And then I'm thinking to myself, this is why I'm sitting here, right, on opposite chair from you. You're here at 8 o'clock in the morning working, and I'm here applying for this credit card by choice. You're here, no choice. You have to pay bills. You're working for
Hmm.
somebody else. You're working for Chase Bank. No choice in the matter. You need to be here. They dictate the time that you come to work. They dictate the time that you leave. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but understand that you're limited as far as you're not here by choice. You didn't wake
Hmm.
up and say, "I'm going to come to work at 8 o'clock in the morning because I fucking want to." No, you're here because you have to be. I'm applying for this credit card by choice, and this is why it will always be like that. You're
Yeah.
always going to have the same results, and you're going to live the same lifestyle because you're afraid always. She already psyched herself out, and that's why I'm saying that a lot of people are not built for it because they're psychologically not built, psychologically weak.
Yeah. 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 I have a similar story, right? In regards to like, you giving people the secret sauce and them not wanting to make the move to do it, right? I was running a pressure washing window cleaning company. Long story short, I had a friend of mine from around the neighborhood who moved down to Florida and he wanted to be a partner. Yeah, I already had some momentum going. So I told him, yo, check this out. I can set you up with this portion of the business and it won't be part of me. You'll do it on your own. Like it was like I clean windows, those window screens that don't let mosquitoes in. A lot of people had them broken. So I'm like, yo, I'll get all the equipment for you, set you up. All I want is 10% of whatever you make because I'm going to be feeding you the leads. Whatever you get on your own is yours. So I'm going to set you up. He didn't want to. No. That whole attitude.
Excuses.
No, I
Yeah.
don't know how to like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Like something that I'm a big believer in, kid, is that like when I do interviews at work, right, where I work at, they always ask like, oh, what is it you're looking for? What I'm looking for is something you can't teach, and that's
Right.
initiative and that hustler spirit. I can't give
Can't
that to
teach that.
anybody. You
No, you
cannot.
can't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You like if you really want to break out of your shell, maybe you can build up to that, but nobody will be able to instill that in you, right? It's not
No.
like teaching you how to drive, right?
Yeah.
Take you on 3 or 4 times out on the road. You catch this hustler thing. It has to be in you because it's not just
Yep.
about being a hustler. It's like the tenacity, the thick skin that you have to have, the want and desire, right? Because when you
And also,
fail, you may fail big, but the part that keeps you in the game is it's an like, do you have it in you to stay in the game and keep it going until you hit that level of success? That you can teach, right? And you can
like,
tell people, you can give people the motherfucking blueprint, dog. Like this is exactly where you gotta go, exactly what you have to do. And as soon as it gets a little difficult, like, oh yeah, but what if I
yeah,
can't do it?
I can't. You know what? One thing that because of everything I've been through, and I guess my age also, I hate excuses. When with people that make excuses, I don't even want to be around you.
Yeah.
Excuses, people that are negative, I can't. I can't. I don't even want to be around you.
Yo, dog, to be honest with you, I think excuses should have an age limit, the reverse way. Like once you get to a certain age, you should not be allowed to give excuses. Just own whatever the circumstance is. Like the fucking excuses, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it doesn't stop. And like, I used to think that when you get to a certain age, like it's almost like when you hit 21, you could drink, right? When you get
Right.
21, you deal with much mature people and you deal with people that, no, bro. There's grown ass adults that act like fucking kids or even worse. And I
Yeah,
can't stand that. Like,
I think
I think it's like an infection, bro. Like, you bring that shit around me and I feel like it's,
oh, yeah, yeah, 100%.
you
Like,
know what I'm saying?
I don't like feeling helpless, and there's people that they feel helpless and they wanna infect that helplessness in you. Like, I don't wanna be around that. They'll try to plant the seed of doubt in you. I just don't wanna be around people like that.
Yeah, man.
It affects you big time.
Play it. And I'll tell you something, man. We're living two different lives, right? Two different opposites.
Right.
You're doing your thing with your business, taking trips. You're basically living in another country, right?
Basically.
I'm over here. I
Literally.
have the family life going on and all these things. But for me in my life right now, I like being home, man, because I don't. And we said this in the pod, the first pod. We right. This was a conversation that we had. We don't want to have conversations about nothing or nonsense.
Right.
If it's
Yeah.
not moving the needle forward, out of my face.
Right.
I'm down with like shit talking and joking around. Like I love making jokes and all that stuff. But ultimately, is like I need something that's feeding the mental.
Yeah, I feel
And
the
as
same
far
way.
as like my asthma, bro, is acting up. People that have self doubt, that is
Wanna drink some
contagious,
water?
bro. Huh? No, I'm good. People that have that self doubt is contagious, bro. Because and especially like
It is.
you're constantly around that. It's and I use this in my last episode where it's almost like DJs that played wax songs back in the day, and I don't know if they still do it, but they keep playing it and playing it until they're shoving it down your throat, and you're reciting the lyric like it's contagious. It'll infect you, and then you'll start thinking like that. That's why you have to be careful, especially for little kids, that they observe you, and if you're a whiner, if
Yeah.
you're somebody that sets excuses for everything, they're gonna follow that.
Yeah, whatever you allow an excuse in other people, you're going to allow an excuse in your own life. And this is very interesting. Like a lot of the self-help, for the most part, a lot of it is bullshit. But one aspect that I really don't like is that they put, I mean, this is true. A lot of self-help is bullshit. But one thing that a lot of people don't touch on when it comes to self-help, there's like you. You get it. You are responsible for your own life, but no one talks about how crucial it is, like the people around you, like
Yes.
who's around you. Like
Yeah.
I always ask people, like if I can take you out of your circle of influence, whatever that circle is, and I could put somebody else in there, how would that person feel around that circle?
Mm,
You know that it's very difficult to treat people that have addictions because once they leave their treatment center, whatever the case is, they go back to the environment that
yeah, yeah.
created the addiction in the first place.
Yeah, player, like I know we're heading in a different route with this conversation, but I think it's still something that people could walk away with. I think it's tremendously about the circle that you surround yourself with. Like I'll
100%.
give you a
Right.
quick example. In this pursuit of podcasting and getting better at content creating and all the things, right? I feed myself the excuse of not having time. And me and you, there's a clip that we did together that can't say it went viral, but people really loved it. You make time for the things that you want, right?
That's it.
That was a
Period.
dope
Yeah.
clip that we had, period. So it takes me roughly about 2.5 hours to and from work. I found out that there's a train down the road. It takes me an hour to get to work. I have to get up much earlier, but now I don't have to drive. So in that hour, I could be productive. Instead of working on things that have to pertain to my 9 to 5, I can work on my podcast. I can work on content creation. I can work on break. I can do whatever the fuck I want within that time frame. So I'm creating that space for me to be able to really step into what I feel like my purpose is. But if I surround myself with people who are constantly saying, I don't have time, I don't have time. I have a whole family, dog. You know this. 2 kids, a wife, 2 dogs. I deal with a sickness. I'm dealing with a flare up right now. But like the desire to really be the best version of myself is way more powerful than anything else. And for my kids to be able to see that shit play
Oh
out
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and for them to have a roadmap to me is more important than giving myself an excuse. And I think that's something that should resonate with everybody out there. Like, dog, you could lie to everybody and their mother. You could lie. You could raise excuses. You can't do it to yourself.
You can't.
And the worst thing you could do is surround yourself, like JP was saying, with people who are going to help you bask in that misery. You got to get people like that away from you.
Well, not only that, but the thing is that that's why success is so hard, right? A lot of people don't even want to achieve success because if they achieve success, what would the people around me think? You won't be able to keep your same circle because the thing is that some people want to keep you there, and then it stops you mentally. It prevents you. It's like a block, a mental block is from you achieving success because if you know how the people around you are going to respond. They're going to either be bitter, they're not going to be supportive. A lot of people don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
A
Yo,
lot of people
JP, I'll tell you
want to
something.
keep,
You
yeah,
know how people are so tied up with their phone numbers? Like, oh, no, this, and I've had this number for 20. Yo, I don't have no problem in switching my number at any point in time. The less people have my number, the better. That's the way I view it, bro. If you need to get in contact with me, you will find me. Like, if it's something that's crucial, you will find me.
yeah, yeah.
But
I believe that. Yeah,
like the less people, and yeah, man, I don't want to make this just about people. Like you guys get where we're headed with this. Like me and JP, we have conversations all the time about family life and just relationships. But some of the best conversations that we have are around content, motivating each other, checking in with each
right.
other, making sure that we're good. And one thing about me and JP too, we love to see each other win. So it's not like it's like,
Yeah, I
I
love it.
like to see you do good, but not better than I do. I'm like, fuck out of here. I want to see you do amazing, bro. Like when one of us wins, we all win. And that's
Yeah.
something that everybody has to remember. And like to see JP out in another country, like right now is what? 10:47.
Yeah, yeah, 10:47 in the 10:47 a.m. and I think for you it's 9:47 p.m., right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
love it for you, bro. I love it for you, and I love everything that it's doing for you at the same time. Now, to bring it back to what we were talking about, right? I know we drifted off, but this is how our conversations are to those folks that are still listening and watching. It gets deep with the Airbnb world. What was the next step for you? Because I know that you branched off and you actually started teaching people how to do this Airbnb thing, right? Because you were
Right.
successful at it. You're so successful at it. You're able to be in another country and still have a source of income coming in. So talk to us
Right.
a little bit about what led you to the journey to want to create courses for people to learn about the Airbnb world.
I think it was a friend that he was selling courses and then he was telling me, you should teach people. First he asked me how much money do I make? And I told him and he said, "Oh man, you should definitely teach people how to do that." Now I was making, I'm not going to say how much, just six figures, right? So then he's like, "Well, people really want to learn how to do that." He's like, "Really?" So I got introduced to teaching, like in the teaching world, like a course world, through him, and it did help a lot of people. And I actually learned more about Airbnb when I was teaching other people. Like it helped me even streamline it and make it more simpler to myself. Because I feel like if you can't teach it, or not only if you cannot teach it, but if you can explain it in a simple way that a child can understand, then you don't know it. You should. If you can break it down in a very, and I like things to be very, very simple. I like to
Yeah.
break things down that a child can understand it. So yeah, so I learned more doing that, and I help people. Like I think, one of the persons that I help, I guess you can call it a client, but I call them family. I call them
Mm,
family.
they
So
family.
she had a house in Alabama, and she couldn't find someone to rent the house to. And I told her, "Well, what's your goal? What do you want to do with the property? How much rent do you want to make?" And she said, "Oh, I think 1,700, something like that, is the desired goal for a house, okay, a house in
Yeah.
Alabama." And I told her, "Well, no offense, but that's a fucking joke. Like that is a joke. Like you could do way more than that, right?" So I taught her how to do it. We had just one session, like one full call session. Not only did she get the course, but she also got the consultation with me. So we did only one session. After one session, I think I don't quote me this, 'cause I'm not sure. I don't know if she made $10,000 or $15,000. It was a property. It was a company that booked her property for the
But definitely
workers to
double
stay there.
digits.
Yes,
But definitely
yes,
double digits. Okay,
yes.
continue.
Much
Sorry.
more than her goal was. Her goal was just to make $1,700 a month, and she ended up making ten to $15,000. Not in one month, but it was within the span of, I think, 2 months, because it was a company that wanted to rent her property in order for the employees to stay there.
Okay.
And I mean, you do the math on that, right?
And that must be real fulfilling, like to be able to make money, right? I mean, you're already making money as a host. Now you're
Right,
teaching, right? Like,
right,
and it's awesome. Like the money aspect of it is beautiful, but the fact that you were able to kind of be a lifeline for somebody else to get money too is pretty dope,
right.
right? Like what we call that synergy. I hope
Yeah.
that's the way you created
You know
some
the
real
funny thing is
synergy there.
that when I was speaking to her, I already knew she was gonna be successful because she already had the internal drive to do it. Like I
Yeah,
knew, like she already had the drive to do it.
again, and that's the see. when people ask you, like in questions, I tell you, like, what is it you're looking for? That's a skill that I have to learn myself is in seeing that quality in people. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, see, because everybody says they're a hustler. Man, I can't tell you. Oh, yeah, 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 I'm a hustler. Like, for me, and I guess is being naive in certain aspects, but in getting to know people more and more, I feel like I'm a good judging character. But that hustler portion is hard for me to identify until I guess I see people in the move, on the move, right?
Or you can just ask questions. Oh man, I always wanted to write a book. When someone says something like that, what's stopping you?
Yeah, but
Or like, oh,
here,
I always wanted to do this.
I
What's
think
stopping you? Like, well,
my tolerance for me, JP, when it comes to bullshit, I stop talking. Like if me and you are having a conversation and I'm not talking, I'm not really feeling the conversation. Like I'm not motivated to continue.
yeah. You know what's
And I
crazy? I think it
have,
was one time you introduced me to somebody, and I said, "Yo, I don't feel it. I think he's bullshitting." And then I told you why. You said, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right." I'm
yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
this the it sounds like bullshit, you know?
yes, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't think I have a tolerance for that, and I think that's what it is. It stops me from asking more questions where I'm like, you're full of shit. But again, in the same context, is like it's sometimes hard for me to identify. I guess I give up on asking questions because I guess I don't want to be disappointed. I'm confusing
No, no,
myself
not
within
really.
that.
I mean, if you already know that it's going to lead to bullshit, you already have enough information from what you gathered, then what's the point? Like me, I just like
Yeah,
yeah, after I gather enough information, I already know what
you're
I
out
can
the
determine.
equation.
Like I don't want to continue. I don't want to continue. I don't want
But
to
it's dope that
interact.
it's dope that you did see that quality in that student because it also that there's people out there that they buy courses and they don't do anything with it. And for
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
that's
there's a lot of people
profit.
like that.
But I think what's more fulfilling for you is somebody who actually buys the course and takes off.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
How long? So talk to me about the course itself. Like, what is it that entail? Like, how long is
So
it?
it's a 5-week course. So everything that you need is there. Like so I break it down in weeks. So when I was watching another course, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I remember that the first video, literally the first video in that course, and that course was like I think like at the time like 2000 $3,000. The first video he was talking about was what TV to buy. I thought to myself, how fucking ridiculous is that? Like, why are you speaking about what TV you buy? Bro,
Yeah,
this shouldn't even be the first video at all. This makes
yeah.
absolutely no sense to me. Like, why are you talking about what video to buy in the first video of teaching somebody Airbnb? And the course is like $2,000. That's why a lot of courses out there are really bullshit. Like, they're really bullshit.
I would assume it'd be location. Like the number one thing to look at is where am I gonna
Exactly.
put this Airbnb?
Like I have it in a cycle. The cycle goes in 3 parts. So Airbnb is to me, I have it in 3 cycles. The first one is the acquisition of the property. What everything entails about that. So the acquisition of the property, right? Everything that goes in that. The second is setting up the property and then launching it. Okay. The furnishing, the photos, how fast you're gonna put it online. And then the last part of that cycle is the never ending cycle of continuous improvement. You continually improving the process, not only for yourself, but also for the guests. So the cycle works in that 3 stages when you get a property. Real simple. Like I like to keep things like very simple. That when I see people overcomplicating it or just talking nonsense, doesn't make any sense. It
Yeah.
infuriates me.
Question for you. So, in keeping it simple, I'm gonna challenge you on this. And
Yeah.
why is it
Challenge
5
away.
weeks then?
Well, the way I have the course set up in 5 weeks, I broke everything down in as far as what you need to do within those 5 weeks, and it's in chronological order. So it starts from exactly what you need to do, like the 3 stages that I told you in the cycle. Each week breaks down exactly what you need to do in chronological order of what you need to do. And I think
Okay.
that 5 weeks is enough in order for you to do everything. Like, because the whole purpose of the course is I'm telling you what to do. Okay, I'm holding your hand to the process, and I'm telling you what to do in order of the things you need to do. It's not we're
Yeah.
gonna start from hey, look, this is what locks you need for your no, no. We're gonna start from the
Yeah.
beginning, and then go throughout the whole process in order. While I'm holding your hand, while I'm telling you exactly what you need to do, but in chronological order, exactly what you need to do.
Got it. And if somebody wanted to
And it
take
ended up
the
being
like,
5 weeks.
and I just think of it at 5 weeks because I'm like, damn, 5 weeks. What if somebody wanted to get to it immediately? Like, how soon can they watch those episodes? Like, either episodes or like
No, they
how
can watch.
soon
They
can
can
they
watch
take the
all five
course?
weeks if they want. Yeah, they
And
can
how
watch
many
all. They can
hours is
consume
it?
all the time. I'll be honest with you, I don't know, but it's a couple hundred hours in there. I don't
Oh, a
know how many
couple
hours
hundred
in
hours?
total. Yeah,
Wow.
plus also the all the documents and stuff like that that they have to that PDF files that's in the course as well. Because you can now not only can you consume the course video visually, but you can also consume the course audio. So I made it audio. So for people that's on the
Okay.
move, like have busy lives, you can just listen to it audio. So it's a couple hundred hours, give or take.
Couple hundred hours. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot of information.
yeah.
So
I mean,
you go deep into it. And then so aside from the course itself, you do all offer consulting, right? Like I think you had mentioned to me a long time ago, like you offered like the actual course and
yes.
then you can book like some time to speak to you directly. Is that still something that you offer?
Course, yeah. Like if people want to, like, because here's the thing, like you can get the information directly from the course, but then sometimes it's just things that you want to speak to with somebody, because they're more personalized to you. You may have something that's more customized to you, so you need more like a customized
Yeah.
advice, like kind of like a suit, right? You want something that's fitted, that's tailored to your body. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with the advice. Maybe you need something that's specifically tailored to you. And that happened a lot. Like I think I was dealing with one client that he was from Atlanta. And the issue with him after listening to him and looking at his listing was that he was spending the reason he wasn't making profit was because he was investing too much money up front. Like
Okay.
I saw his refrigerator, he had ice cream, he had beers, he had soda, he had all these things. And I told him, listen, when you book a hotel, what do the hotels give you? And he was like, I was like, yo, bro, they'll probably give you a bottle of water. If you're even lucky to get that, they'll give you a bottle of
Yeah.
water.
Yep.
Why are you providing all these extra things that just makes no sense? You're spending too much money. Cut all these expenses out. Cut them out.
Yeah.
And that was something that he wouldn't have seen unless I told him about it. So that's
Yep.
just an example of something like that. Or sometimes it could be a confidence thing. It's different things for different people.
And so aside from that consulting, and then I'm just thinking as like if I was a potential customer, then I can also book more time with you, right? If I needed you on like literally holding my hand through the process, like I want your direct number. You offer a service
Yeah.
like that too?
Yes, yes, I do.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It really
And
depends
like
on it. Some people don't need that. Some people do.
and if
Sometimes,
somebody
what some people need, like the one from Alabama I told you that made the $10,000, $15,000. So what she really needed is, I mean, not only the information because she got it, but someone to give her permission. So sometimes what people need is just someone to tell them it's okay, do it. You have my
yeah,
permission. Sometimes people just need permission to do it because they lack the belief in themselves.
yeah.
That's it. Sometimes
Yeah.
something simple as that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean like I relate it to like the way I am with my wife. Like sometimes I tell her an idea and I'm like a kid waiting for her to be like, "You can do it," and I'm like, and it's not in this instance, it's more like to have somebody else other than yourself believe in what you're about to do. Like, do it. You would be great at it. It's almost like when a woman tells you, like, "How do I look in this dress?" The dress looks amazing. It looks better off, but yeah, it looks amazing. Go ahead, rock it. Rock the shit out
Yeah.
of it.
Sometimes
Yeah,
people
we all
just
need that
want.
sometimes. I think.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I
people
agree.
just want just a little push, just someone to say, yeah, you could do it,
Where can
or
people
someone to listen to.
find us? Sorry.
Well, if you want, you can go to my Instagram, which is JP underscore not Morgan. You can go there. There's links to my website. Also, you can just DM me directly on my Instagram and also on my Facebook. Same JP not Morgan.
Okay.
JP underscore not Morgan.
Okay, okay. And then real quick, why the name JP not Morgan? What's that about?
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's funny. I used to go to network events. And I will introduce myself as JP. And always people will say JP Morgan. Probably, because people are nervous, so they're trying to break the ice. So they always say this. Oh, JP. I'll say JP, and they'll say JP Morgan. I'm like, no, 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 JP, no, no, not JP, not Morgan. Okay. And then it just stuck to me. I said, okay, JP, not Morgan. That's
Yeah,
how I
before
changed
they
it.
say you say it.
Yeah, I just say
Got you.
JP, not Morgan.
Got you.
I don't
Got
have
you.
billions
Okay.
of dollars, unfortunately.
Not yet. Not yet. I do want to touch on your lifestyle now. Like where you're at in your life, right? You're obviously still running your business. You're doing very
Right.
well for yourself at Airbnb. You've done well with the courses. Now you're in the Philippines. You've been there for how long?
I've been here since September, and we're in October right now.
And you're staying for how much longer?
I don't know until I
That's
want to leave.
crazy.
Yeah,
How do you live? Like I don't even want to hear no more.
yeah, I just
So
want to leave, man.
talk to us about this new chapter in your life of you being on the other side of the world. What led you there? Like, we know, and I know, maybe you tell the people, you've traveled a little bit, right? Through the course of the last couple years,
Oh yeah, yeah,
whether
yeah,
it's
yeah.
within the states, overseas. Talk to us a little bit about that. Where are you at right now with your, I guess, your personal life, your personal journey?
So as far as my personal journey, I didn't feel content being in the United States. I did some research. Yes, I have traveled different places, Mexico, Colombia, and also around the United States as well. Texas, Florida, so a lot of traveling. But ultimately, I decided to come to the Philippines because of the cost of living. So the cost of living is very cheap. So right now, I have a condo here. I'm paying $470. Light is included, water, electricity, internet. The building itself, the amenities is a pool, gym, a coffee shop, laundry room, everything that you would need in everything for $470. Like the cost of living here is so cheap, and you can live such a comfortable life and have so much freedom. So I guess what I wanted to do, I didn't want to be like, because I felt a bit isolated and unhappy in the States. But now that I'm here, I feel much more better. I feel much more freer, more happier. And I feel like I can focus more on things that I enjoy. And what I enjoy doing is my YouTube channel, The Unconventional Man. I get joy from doing that more than anything. Even though I don't post as often as I should, I feel more excited doing that. And then and having the freedom to just be here. Because I was telling you, I literally traveled to different parts of the Philippines, and the plane tickets are like $47. $57 for me to travel different parts of the Philippines, and it's beautiful here. And then you know one thing
When
that
you
I
talk,
don't like? Go ahead, go ahead.
now I was gonna say because when I think about a $400 or $500 condo, I think that it's but you know how much it costs to rent a condo here. What
Of
would that
course.
translate to here for something like that? You're paying four or five
United
hundred
States,
dollars here in let's say in New York City,
based on the amenities I'm getting, you're looking at probably close to $4,000 up, based on all the amenities that I'm getting here.
and
100%.
you're in the city. Like, where are you close to? Like, what is that like?
So to live where I'm at right now,
Yeah, like what is it near in the Philippines? You don't have to say the exact location, but are you in
what
a
is it
central
near? Like,
hub?
yeah, yeah. I'm not too far. I'm not too far. Like maybe I'll probably say maybe close to like, depending on traffic, I'll probably be like an hour and 15 minutes away from the beaches that they have here in the resorts in this particular area.
Okay, because the last
But
time
I'm
I
more in
spoke
the
to you, the beach was at your balcony. You could see
Yeah,
the
yeah. No, I
beach.
was thinking, because I was staying further down there, but
Yeah.
now I'm in the city area.
Okay. So you've moved around. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty
Now I'm
dope.
more comfortable here, so I'm gonna just stay here where I'm at right now for 2 months, and then from
Okay.
there we'll see what happens.
Okay. Now you mentioned like making videos and content. Can you talk to us about what it is that you do on YouTube? Because you do have a pretty decent following when it comes to your YouTube videos and things. You have a lot of thought provoking stuff on there, stuff that
Yeah,
that really triggers people and
yeah,
ruffles
yeah.
some
100.
feathers, if you will. What's that about?
So my channel is called the Unconventional Man. It's something I really have a passion for. I enjoy, and it's pretty much is a mixture of philosophy, psychology, and just men's issues. Like that's the way I see it right now, and it keeps evolving because I evolve,
Yeah.
and I still don't have it down packed, but I know that I enjoy speaking about the issues that I get excited because I did a video, the last video that I did on there. It got close to 700 views and 12 new subscribers, and that gets me so excited.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
see that growth and people engaging with it, and yeah, like I can't tell you how much I enjoy. And yes, I do talk about a lot of taboo topics. Like I have no issue. Like here's the thing. A lot of people say that I don't want to talk about this, I want to talk about that because I don't want to alienate people, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to make people feel I don't want to offend people and this and that. But the thing is that when you're honest and you speak authentically, you're gonna attract people who are similar to you, who have the same beliefs as you. So you don't have to
Right.
constantly watch what you say. Because I think what happens when people creators become successful and they have a certain level of influence and audience, they become
Have to water it down a little bit.
they are a slave to their audience, meaning
Yeah.
that they can't speak freely, they can't say what they want because they have to be careful of how the audience are going to say. I don't want to have that. I don't want to grow an audience where I can't speak freely. I don't
Yeah.
want to grow an audience where I have to watch what I say, and I am a slave to my audience. No,
Yeah.
I am a slave to the truth. Okay, to the truth, or wherever the truth may lead me. Okay?
Right. I respect that. I respect that a lot. And I think that you raise a good point because if you think about how many like newscasters or like radio personalities, like think about how many of them get canceled. Like they strip everything away from them because you were out of pocket. I can't I can't think of like
Right.
being censored. Like, you have to read the room, and I get, being, I wouldn't say politically correct, but just being mindful about certain things. But I would hate to censor myself or censor anybody else. There's boundaries for different things, but I agree with you. Like, in your platform, you want to be able to say what you want to say, how you
And
want
what
to
I want
say
to say.
it.
Yeah.
And even as
I don't want
you're
to be
you're
able to watch myself, or watch my tone, watch what I don't want to I don't want to be
yeah.
like that. I don't want to have a platform like that.
Yeah, just be real to your truth, man, and to what you feel is the truth. A college professor told me, he's like, "Hey, I want you guys to pick a topic and raise a case for it, right?" And I picked immigration, and everything I wrote was why immigration is important, why it should be allowed, all the things, right? I gave him the thing. He made me do like 3 or 4 drafts. I got a nice tune to perfection, as close to perfection for me as possible. Then he flipped it. He's like, "Now I want you to write something against immigration and why it shouldn't happen." And I was like, holy shit. So, what was important for me when it comes to that is to be able to have an open mind. And that's, I don't know if JP notices that, but if you tune in long enough, he will force that out of you.
I noticed people don't change their minds, bro. They don't. Even if you show them all the facts and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't even like arguing on facts because people would dismiss the facts or ignore it. But I just like to trap people logically. They did a study that people have, I think, a 99% or 98% of your thoughts are recurring thoughts day in and day out. You have the same thoughts. So no, you're
Yeah.
not a deep thinker.
That bothers me, like, to even think like that. I think, and that's why you have to stay fluid and like
You
be
have
able to
to.
challenge your own way of thinking. And that's why, like, I don't think, in thinking about myself, like, I'm a man of habits. Like, I have these like habits that I do day in and day out. But I like mine. What is it? The wording, thought provoking shit. Like, I live for that. Like,
Me
things
too.
that really
I love it.
question, like, you know what I mean? Like the norm. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
things that really question the norm. Yo, before we close out, because I know we've been on this for a little bit. So talk about
Yeah.
your passport bros life. Like, what is that about?
Oh, the
How did that
passport bro
come
thing.
about? Yeah, what is that? First of all, break
Uh,
that down, because I've heard it like less than a handful of times.
yeah. So passport bros is just pretty much someone that goes overseas to meet women. It could be either for someone. It could be either for a relationship, which is my whole thing, like for a relationship, or it could be for like what they call sex tourism. So you have a lot of men in Western countries that are tired of dealing with women because women have become so aggressive, combative, delusional as far as their standards and expectations of what men should provide. It's kind of like like it's just delusional, man. Like I think I'm pretty well off, and I feel like the what women are demanding is just completely outrageous and delusional. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So that's why a lot of men travel overseas to find a better quality of women. And there are much better quality of women as far as women being feminine, being loving, being caring. Most importantly, the most important thing is being motherly, because that's
word.
the whole purpose of dating and marriage is children.
I saw a video where it talks about like the hot commodity in the Western world, which is the United States, is women. Like, they have the upper hand here.
100%.
But when you go overseas or you go to other countries, it's the men that have the other upper hand there, and they become the hot commodity. Is that the case where you're at, or the places that you've been to?
All right. So let me explain something here, right? Because I know there's a misconception that okay, so you're a man and you're going you as a Westerner, right? As a man in the West, you're going overseas to take advantage of vulnerable women. Shame on you.
Yeah,
Shame
horrible
on you
man.
for taking advantage of these poor women. So I made the argument in my video. If anybody interested in watching, you can go to my YouTube channel, Unconventional Man. Just type in Unconventional Man if you're interested in watching the video. But I make the argument because the argument is that the power imbalance argument, right? That I'm going to go overseas to take advantage of a woman, and there's a power imbalance because again, I'm a man from overseas, so I have more capital, right? Per se, like I have more value and what goes on because I'm coming overseas with the power of the dollar, right?
Yeah,
And they're from these poor second and third world countries. The problem with the power imbalancement argument is that they leave a few things out. No matter what relationship you're in, there's always going to be a power imbalance. So, for example, if I'm a man in the West and I date a woman that I make more money than in the West, that's a power imbalance. I can't date a woman that I make more money than because that's a power imbalance. I
Yeah.
can't date a woman that I'm stronger than a woman. Physically, I'm stronger than a woman. The majority of men are going to be stronger than women. That's a power imbalance. I'm
Yeah,
taller
man.
than a woman. That's a power imbalance. So the argument of the power imbalance, so if you can't go overseas because there's a power imbalance between you and a woman, it's just logically when you follow it to its logical conclusion, it just doesn't make sense. And then also there was a streamer, right? His name is Destiny. He was making the argument for the power imbalance. The problem with him is that I don't like to make the arguments from hypocrisy, but he's a hypocrite because he's in the United States. He's a millionaire, so he has his pick of the litter. So me traveling overseas, having the status that he has in the United States is wrong. Think about that. He has status already, being a popular streamer and being a millionaire. Me going overseas to have the same status that he has in the United States, well, that's wrong. But that's wrong. And then if he follows his own argument, then his dating pool like is very slim because he has to date a woman that has the same amount of money that he has to avoid a power imbalance. So, like this is retarded.
Wow.
Like so here's the thing. The reason that the people in the West, especially feminists, the reason that they don't want you to travel overseas, and this is very important. The reason that they don't want you to travel overseas is because they don't want you to create families. They ultimately don't want you to go overseas, meet a younger woman, a more feminine woman, and start families. That's the whole purpose of this is for you not to travel overseas, shame you, so you don't go overseas and start a family. Or see how the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, of course, there's pros and cons to everything, but ultimately, it's to prevent the creation of family, which is what in my opinion, feminism is right now is the prevention and the disconnect and the misalignment and argument and creating the barrier between men and women to come together and do what they're supposed to do, which is get married and have children. It's create the creation of family. That is the whole purpose of shaming passport bros. It's for them not to go overseas. And of course, are there passport bros that they come and they're looking for sex? Well, of course. I mean, of course. But this in the United States, you have that. You have 18-year-olds that do OnlyFans with 40-year-olds. Nothing wrong with that. Well, that's okay. That's sex work. Yeah, that's okay. She go. You go, girl. Right. But then me coming overseas, right? And so as a 40-year-old man, right, marrying an 18-year-old to start a loving relationship and start a family, well, that's wrong. Make it sense.
That's I think that's a valid argument.
Yeah.
It's a valid argument. I don't agree or disagree. I
Nah,
think
nah.
it's a
Fuck
valid
that.
argument.
Agree with this shit.
It's a
You
I
gotta
just
agree. You gotta agree,
I
man.
think to a certain point I don't like the like what a lot of times people may say like the double standard. Like it's okay for you to do it, but it's not. I just think ultimately like you should do what makes you happy as long as it's reasonable. Like,
No, don't get me
like
wrong. Like
I think people
I believe in
judge.
morality. Morality is important. You should judge. You should question. Something wrong with that. People should question the fact that I'm a passport bro. That you should question that. Why are you doing that? Nothing wrong with that. The thing is that when people when you argue it and you show the holes in the logic that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not moral. What's immoral about me traveling overseas to find a wife?
Just the part
Nothing.
about like I'm assuming, and it's because you said it, like what may be perceived as you taking advantage of, people with limited options. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
And again, that argument on his face just doesn't make any sense because then what you're saying is that in the United States, a man with more resources than a woman shouldn't get married because she has limited options compared to you.
that that's valid. Yeah.
You can't then it just becomes we go round and round. We just keep going
Yeah.
round and round. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not about that. The
Hey,
purpose of the
dude, do what makes you happy, kid. That's all I gotta tell you. Like,
well, I wouldn't go as far as I wouldn't say do what make you happy because there's a lot of things
no, no, no.
that like
Hey,
that's
play
wrong
out,
with that.
play. Let's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not telling you to do something that's illegal or
No, I
immoral,
get it. I get it. I get
but
it. I get it.
ultimately, it's if you find like you as my friend, like if you find happiness somewhere else and you're able to create a family out of that, more power to you,
Yeah,
bro.
that's ultimately the thing. Like when you ask people what's the moral argument again? There's no and again
Yeah.
I'm someone that I'm for criticizing, scrutinizing, judging people. Like that's fine. But where is that coming? Like to me, the whole thing is that it's the prevention of family. People don't want you. They don't want you to go overseas and start a family. Misery loves
Yeah.
company. Did you know? Look, did you know, player, in the year 20, I don't know if it's 2040 or 2038. I am not sure what year it is. Over 40% of women, and this is unheard of in the history of mankind, and especially in the West, over 40% of women are going to be single and childless. We've never had that before. Not only have we never had that, never experienced something like that in the West, we've never dealt with in the history of mankind to have such a large population of women to be single and childless. And that's going to have its own unique issues and problems. This one might get me cancer, y'all.
All right, JP. So thank you for coming on the show today. We appreciate you coming on, you giving the people some thought provoking facts, opinions, all the above. I definitely want people to lean into your Airbnb experience, your courses, and for people to tune into everything you're doing. Can you give people your handle where they can find you and follow you and see all
Oh yeah,
things
yeah.
JP?
So yeah, so you can follow me on my YouTube. So Unconventional Man for the YouTube. That you get my spicy takes on there. Spicy takes, spicier than what we spoke about right now. It's even spicier than that, right? And then also then you can find me on my Instagram. My Instagram is JP underscore not Morgan. That one is kind of tame. I just post like stuff like me, my lifestyle and stuff like that, and like Airbnb stuff. So nothing really spicy on there. And yeah, I think those will be the best place to reach me at. Or even if you go on my YouTube, you can reach me out through my email. My email is jp@jpnotmorgan.com. So my email again is jp@jpnotmorgan.com if you want to
Uh,
reach me through email for anything. Or you could just DM me on Instagram.
all right. JP. Thank you very much, man. Look forward to your success, all things that you're gonna do in the
Well,
near
thank you.
future. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.